Good morning, ladies. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019, and I am 37 weeks and 3 days pregnant. So it is really the end of this journey, and it is so crazy. And I have a lot of different emotions about the entire journey. It was a whirlwind for me, and from the whole trying to conceive IVF to now, it was just, it was straight. So I didn't have any delays. So it really was about, I guess, 11 months. Once this process is over, 10 to 11 months, because I only did the IVF for one round, which was really like, the full thing maybe took 2 weeks, and here we are. So it's almost over, and it's bittersweet to me. I didn't expect to feel this way, but I do feel like saddened by the fact that it's over, and excited. Almost over, right? And excited by the fact that, I'll soon have, my first baby. But it is still, that is terrifying to me, and it's a lot of unknown there. Everything is unknown there for me. And so, I can't process that. Like, pregnancy was unknown for me as well. And, if I've made my way through it. So now it's like, okay, each week I had a new symptom. I had a new ache. I had a new whatever going on. But it's just interesting because now I'm in a territory where pregnancy will be over, and it's like, oh my God, how do I raise this kid? So I have a lot of mixed emotions. Of course it's happiness, but it's scary. It is really scary. So, I'm still working. So, I haven't stopped, and I will be induced at 38 weeks. So, not too long from now. If baby doesn't decide to come sooner, which I'm hoping baby will stay put. I have mixed feelings about being induced. Part of me, listen, ultimately, I do think you should listen to your doctor. So I'm not trying to, sorry, I want to turn my phone down in case it rings during my very important video. I'm not trying to change or say anyone shouldn't do that. I just, overall, I'm going to do what my doctors say. So what I say here, I'm just telling you, I'm going to do what my doctors say. I was reading a blog, which I don't suggest because these things can drive you crazy, but it's so easy to get caught up in them. And I was reading a blog where a woman, since she was like 40 or 42, and her doctors were going to induce at 39 weeks, only because of her age, because she was AMA. As any other AMAs know, that means advanced maternal age, like myself, even though I'm not 39, but that's not that old or anything like that. But I think the one was like, I don't know. She was older than me. I thought she was in her 40s, but I don't remember. She might have been like 39 or 40 or 41. I don't know. 42, 43. Women have babies so much older these days, so you never know. But anyway, her doctor was going to induce at 39 weeks. And she was refusing it because she did not feel that the baby should be induced just because of her age if she had a healthy pregnancy. Now, she had a completely healthy pregnancy. Now, I have had, as I explained to you, I really haven't had a lot of complications, but sometimes my blood pressure is elevated. I haven't been diagnosed with preeclampsia or whatever, but sometimes my blood pressure is elevated. So that is where my risks come in. Other than being AMA, that is where my risks come in. Other than that, every other test I've taken, even the streptococcus B or whatever that test is for that, that bacteria that can be in your anus or vagina that can transfer to the baby. And if you have it, then apparently they'll have to give your baby like antibiotic or put you on antibiotics during the delivery so that your baby doesn't have it, because I think it'd be harmful to the baby, although it is in no way harmful to the mother. I don't know a whole lot about it. That's really all I know about it, but I didn't have that. Like, all my tests for the most part came back negative for everything. But sometimes my blood pressure is elevated. So that's where my risk came at. And so that's why my doctor wanted to induce at 38 weeks. My mixed feeling, and similar to what this woman said, she wanted her baby to just come out when it was ready. Now, she's in a different situation than me, so I'm assuming she didn't have any blood pressure issues and she didn't have any other issues other just being AMA. Where, like, I do have that added blood pressure issue, which is the only reason why my doctor is inducing. Although I am technically AMA at 36, I don't think that she would have induced, before 40 weeks. Maybe we would have talked about it if necessary after that, if baby was still in, but I don't think she would have induced. But I do feel sad about forcing the baby out if the baby's not ready to be out. But 37 weeks, you are full term. So, I go back and forth. I keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But the reality is, regardless of how I feel, I am going to listen to my doctor. So I'm just sharing that, I feel a little saddened by inducing to force the baby out at 38 weeks, but I am going to listen to my doctor. So if that's what they're telling me to do, that's what I'm going to do. As I said in one of my very, very, very early videos, African American women or women of African descent tend to have more complications and deaths during labor than any other race. Like staggering, the numbers are staggering. So I am going to listen to my doctor. My doctor's also Black. She's been on top of, taking every test, doing every exam. I've been getting the biophysical ultrasound things all the time. I'm up to getting them twice a week at this point. She's been on top of it. I see doctors, like I'm at the doctor all the time just for checks. So yeah, so she's been on top of it. And I think if they're saying it's healthier to take the baby out or to induce at 38 weeks, then I guess that's what we're going to do. Induction has its own risk, but childbirth in itself has its own risk. So, again, it's just what we'll do. But it is scary. I don't know if my anxiety is probably more from the fact just to know that it's impending, or if it's like, oh, well, no, because the baby should wait. That could just be what I'm feeling as well, where I'm just like, oh, let's just wait till the baby's ready, because I'm nervous about the entire process, because I am definitely nervous about it. I don't know. It's scary. It's especially, I'm sure it's scary for a mom who's done it multiple times as well, because each time is different, and labor, giving birth, whatever, is huge deal. But and it's huge. A lot is asked of your body at that time. But for me, I'm just like, oh my God, this is so scary. And that's probably why now I'm like, oh yeah, maybe we should keep it in. Can't stand forever. I can't push it off forever. So, it is what it is. And I just have to, man up, woman up, which is probably a better reference in this case, so to speak, and just let it happen. But, so I just want to talk about some last pregnancy symptoms that I haven't really mentioned earlier. One is like, pregnancy mask. I don't know if you can see it on me, and I do have makeup on, so I apologize for it. Well, I don't apologize for wearing makeup, but you can't really see it. But I don't know if you guys have suffered from pregnancy mask, but it's usually I don't know how it presents on other people, and I don't know how it presents if you're light or white or fair skinned or whatever. But for me, and in my case, and my understanding is, it's sometimes a darkening of your skin in various areas, and like right around here, here and in different areas of my face, I've had to add more makeup. I don't know if you probably can't tell as much, but like it's like in this area I've had like more, and even some around my inner nose area, and just a complexion change. But in those areas that I was pointing out specifically, there was like a darkening, to the point that I'd like just kick on a little more makeup and try to act like it wasn't happening. But there's like a darkening of my skin in those areas, and it's a little annoying. I don't wear a ton of makeup. Like, I just try to do some makeup. But I just noticed, like, lately, in those areas specifically, I've had to put on more. And after this pregnancy is over, pregnancy mask should go away, is my understanding. Shortly thereafter, I don't know. I don't know how long it takes. But either way, I'll cover it with makeup. It is to the point that I wouldn't go out. I mean, I'll go out without makeup, but I'm definitely not one of those people. I can't leave the house without it, but I won't. It does make me feel a little more self-conscious to have those like dark patchy areas on my face. But they don't hurt or anything. There's no symptoms otherwise than just being dark. Another thing is stretch marks. So I haven't talked about stretch marks because, to be honest, I didn't really get too many of them, which I'm kind of shocked because I'm prone to get stretch marks anyway. And I would get stretch marks. I had stretch marks pre-pregnancy, like on my arms, like the upper arm area, and on my like hip area, and on my breast. I had stretch marks there previously. Now, you can still get stretch marks this late in your pregnancy. So even though I have not had them yet, I don't know. I don't have too much longer, but you can get pregnant. You can get stretch marks still late in your pregnancy, which is my understanding. And so what I was using, I did use stuff every day to try to combat stretch marks, but I used the Palmer stretch mark massage stuff, which I'm sure people are aware of. But I also made my own oil, because it used to be a time where I used to like make all my own personal products for my own consumption. I would make all my products, and so I made an oil that had like pure cocoa butter, coconut oil. I would put olive oil. I would put various other butters in it. So I'm big on butters. So I had I had mango butter. But those would be it. Like, I mix like a lot of different oils and essential oils into it. Sometimes I put tea tree oil. Sometimes I'd put, adding vitamin E into it. But it was basically making my own just body oil, and I would rub that on. I was doing it twice a day until I realized that if you're using an oil, when I say oil, it was an oil, right? It was like an oil. It would like start to get into my clothes if I didn't like really, 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 really massage it in. So then I started using that just primarily at night and using the Palmers in the day. But for a while, I did use it twice a day, especially more, I think, during the winter time. But yeah, so that was that. And I think it worked. I mean, I can't say whether it worked. I didn't get really stretch marks on my stomach, but I already have stretch marks. Some of the stretch marks that women get during pregnancy, though, are quite terrifying looking because they look just like tiger stripes. And I know people wear them as a badge of honor and think they're beautiful. And I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying, little stretch marks, you could probably deal with, but those things that's just ripping across your whole stomach, I mean, we can do without. At least I think I could do without. I mean, it's just, and I don't know if they ever go away. I hear they lighten up and look better as time goes on, but I don't think they ever go away. I've had some slight stretch marks, which, again, I believe were pre-pregnancy anyway, in my lower abdomen, and they're really, really small. But they were already kind of there. and I didn't get any new stretch marks, so didn't gain any stretch marks during pregnancy, which like I said, I'm shocked because I am clearly prone to get stretch marks. Now, with all that said, I don't know if there's anything you really do to prevent stretch marks. I do think a lot of it is hereditary. It's also, I know, weight gain, and if you gain a lot of weight very quickly, that tends to add to getting stretch marks. But a lot of it is DNA. So all these things that say they work or don't, and that people try and they don't work, I don't know whether they work. I don't even know if the oil combination that I come up with had worked. I didn't get stretch marks, but that's not proof that it worked. It just means I didn't get any. So, I mean, someone else could try it and it might not work. So I can't vouch for anything. But I do know that using things, even if you just use straight coconut oil or olive oil, that's supposed to be fine. And it may be cheaper than, maybe not olive oil. Olive oil can be kind of pricey. I don't know, but it may be cheaper than just buying like the Palmers and stuff like that. But again, just a word of caution: if you're using any type of oils, if you don't know already, because I would rush in the morning and tend to think I rubbed it in, but not rub it in as well as you need to, and then I'd see it, on my clothes, and that's not what you want because oil is very hard to get out of clothes. The other thing is lightning crotch. So I don't know if you have experienced it, and I have experienced it and didn't know that there was a name for it until recently. And that is, my understanding, is when, I know what it feels like, but the cause of it is, my understanding is that the baby like hits a nerve or just bumps into something in there the wrong way, and you'll get like a shooting pain in your vagina and in the vaginal area, and it's just like, a shooting pain, very temporary but very painful. It can like stop you all of a sudden, and that's usually called lightning crotch. Now, that is not the medical term for it. I don't even know if there is a medical term for it, but it is a real thing if you look it up, and if you've experienced it, it's a real thing. So it's like, lightning crotch is crazy, and there's nothing you can do about it, because I think it's just based on how your baby's moving or what your baby did, especially I think it's more so in your last trimester. I don't know if you can get it earlier. Maybe you can, I don't know. But it's usually once your baby is head down and, like more into your pelvis. Although my baby still has not dropped. And I don't know if the baby will drop before 38 weeks or before I get induced. But the baby has not dropped yet. But still, despite that, I had an ultrasound yesterday and they were like, oh, the baby... a BP, the biophysical ultrasound, and they were like, oh, the baby's deep in your pelvis, although the baby has not dropped. So I don't know. At least they told me the baby hasn't dropped. I don't know. I mean, apparently if the baby drops you, and I don't know, I've never gone through it, the higher, like, your stomach won't be like, still, it starts to like, the way the woman described it to me is that you'll feel like your stomach is empty more at the top. And you'll say like, oh, where'd the baby go? Because now the baby is lower. I don't know if I'll get to experience that or not. I know for first time moms, sometimes the baby doesn't drop until you're in labor or something like that. From what I'm reading. So I don't know if I'll experience it, especially getting induced. If I wasn't getting induced, maybe. So I don't know, but I'll let you know if that happens. But anyway, baby is low into my pelvis, which is what is causing all my pelvis pain. So it's hard for me to believe the baby has not dropped. Because I'm like, oh my God, how much lower, how much more pain, how much deeper you're going to get up in there, unless you so deep you need to come out. Basically, so deep you're crowning. I don't know how much deeper the baby can get. But anyway, so that is lightning crotch, is really this shooting pain, and you'll know if you have it. I mean, it's not constant. It's usually random, right? Because it's based on a baby's movements. So if you have it, you'll know. Another crazy thing that I noticed is hair growth. And I'm not talking about on your head. Now, people tend to think you get pregnant, you're going to have all this tremendous hair. You might have beautiful hair. Your hair could also become brittle and break So there's so many different things that can happen with your hair. It could grow faster and be stronger and longer and fuller and, beautiful and all that. Or it could go the opposite. Not everyone's going to get amazing hair during pregnancy. You would think you would, just because you're growing, all the vitamins and minerals and all that whatever stuff that you're using to grow a baby and to grow their bones and to grow their nails and to grow their hair is coursing through your body as well. The increased blood supply, like all of that, because increased blood supply, especially people know who, if you massage your scalp, like bringing that increased blood flow to your scalp is supposed to help with your hair growth. So you would think it would always work out like that, but there's no always in anything, so it doesn't always work out like that. But I'm not talking about hair growth on my head anyway. I'm talking about hair growth in all types of weird places, like my butt. So that's what I'm talking about anyway. So what I have noticed is that I have like my legs, which I'm a little bit hairy anyway. Like I grow hair, like my arms, my legs. I am a hairy girl. But my stomach, you'll have hair, and I had hair on my stomach beforehand. So, but not like this thick, like dark hairs that grows on that linea nigra, whatever the line called, that black line that a lot of women, or dark line that a lot of women get down the middle of their stomach when they're pregnant, which I actually did not get. But I have a hairline there, which is almost kind of crazy. So I have hair, especially like below my belly button, is like more thicker, darker hairs that I'm like constantly shaving off. And then above my belly button is more of a line up where that dark line would be normally for most women. So it's crazy. And then my butt is like really, it's not the thick dark hairs that I see on my stomach, but it is like fuzzy and it's crazy. Butt and thighs, like, it's just crazy. So maybe this is TMI, but I'm just keeping it real. The hair all over my butt, I've just noticed the hair on my body grows so quickly. Even my nail growth, and I've noticed it more recently, but it may have been going on. It's so quick. Like everything is happening with that so quickly. So I don't know, but it's kind of, not embarrassing to have all the growth on my legs. The only issue is because of my belly, I can't really get down and shave the same way that I used to. So that's really the most annoying part, because it does grow fairly quickly. So it is hard to do that. But I hadn't noticed all of these changes until later in the pregnancy, to be honest. Like, these for me were later in the pregnancy changes, closer to the end of second or beginning of third trimester is when I noticed all of these changes. The hair changes, I should say. So I don't know. Is it just me that I make this up, or do other people notice like hair in really odd places? Another quick thing, like, I also didn't, my belly button never poked out. I know, again, a lot of pregnant women, you see like if you have an innie, it becomes an outie. I have an innie, it stayed an innie. It's kind of stretched weirdly and kind of looks like a weird afflicted smile, but it stayed an innie. Because I do know sometimes that can cause irritation for women to have, if you had an innie and now it's an outie, that area is very sensitive. But I didn't have that either. So, but I do, like I said, I've just like this weird stretched, almost in a weird smile shape, any belly button at this point. So again, not everyone gets everything. I just know it's very common for a lot of women's belly buttons to push out temporarily during their pregnancy. So that's it for now. I have a doctor's appointment today, this afternoon. This will be my last one. Crazy. And it's my last OB. Let me qualify that. This is my last OB appointment. I also have another biophysical tomorrow. This is day before Labor Day. Not Labor Day, 4th of July. I don't know why I keep saying that. Well, I guess it is almost Labor Day for me. Maybe that's why I keep calling it Labor Day. But I'm in the 4th of July, the day before the 4th of July. So I have to get my second BPP or whatever they call it, ultrasound testing this week. I did one yesterday and I'm doing another one tomorrow. And in between today, I'm seeing the OB from our last visit. So I don't know, what to expect, but I'm just hoping my blood pressure is okay, or at least not super high, so she doesn't try to send me to labor and delivery and get tested. Because at this point, anytime it's high, they're like, we might need to send you to labor and delivery. So I don't want to do that. I just want to enjoy my last few days and go from there. So, all right, ladies, I will update you soon. I hope all is well with everyone, and talk to you later.